All right, here we are again with another episode of Watch and Shoes. The watch is Invicta Man of War with an African meteorite face dial. It's automatic and it is a day date and it is screw down crown, carbon fiber body, silicone strap. Here we have a WholeCut leather boot by Giuseppe Zanotti. Probably pronounced that incorrect. You probably know this person as, it's not on the bottom, is it? No, oh, it's on the heel. You've seen that before. That's the brand of the shoe. Let's see if I can't get this zipper undone. So we can do a quick internal. There's the branding again. It has serial numbers here. Branding again on the sole, leather sole. See what kind of stitching they have on the interior. Okay, very little stitching. Just one stitch going down the middle. One stitch going across. We have a WholeCut leather men's boot with a leather sole. Very high. Not as high as this boot. That's a Mexican boot. Leather sole, gum bottom, heel protector on the heel. Also black. But this has many pieces of leather. And many pieces of exotic stingray. This, on the other hand, is one piece of leather. So they got a whole boot made with only one piece of leather. Let's follow that. Starts here, goes up to the top, swings around, no stitching, no stitches, no stitching, no stitches, no laces, no laces, no stitches. All the way down here, one piece of leather, one piece of leather. Well, they have stitching here, but if you go all the way down to the bottom of the zipper, you'll see that the one piece of leather continues all the way through. It's not cut all the way. The stitching is for the zipper, of course, but to ensure that you realize this is one piece of leather, they gave you plenty of room here that you can see this is all one piece still. One piece of leather all the way till it meets up in the back. Very difficult to find a shoe like this in the US. I've been to 1,000,000 department stores and 1,000,000 high fashion stores, but men's WholeCut boot, maybe it's in the women's section, I don't know, but men's WholeCut boot. I see it when I travel. I see it in traveling in the Caribbean, traveling to Africa. I see the boot, but when I get back to the US, it's nowhere to be found. So this is an automatic buy when I saw it. It's actually size 46, and I wear a size 47. But it didn't matter. I asked them if they had a 46 in the back, or a 47 in the back. The guy had just told me we got more sizes in the back, so if you want a new size, make sure you ask me. And I said, yes, I'd like a 47 in this. And before I even got out my mouth, he said, nope, that's the only one in the store. So that's just my luck. But let me walk around, and I did. I walked around for a long time in this shoe to make sure that that leather would give some, and it wasn't painful, and it was withstandable for a long period of time, not just for a second. And it caused me to buy the shoe. I said, okay, I can already feel the would-be pain subsiding. Very soft leather. So it's gonna give some. And it was sold. Also, though, saw a video before that said the Italian shoes and French shoes have like a waistline here, and they usually have a curved hump here. This curve is very minimal on this shoe, even though it's an Italian shoe. And the waistline is nice. It's a nice waistline in this area, tapered. But bring back King Mexico over here, and I have to give Mexico the title for curvature on the waist, as well as the huge curve here. From here to here, you go way up here, and then you go back down, and you go back down. So King Mexico gets the title for that. Over the very nice, extremely nice, very high quality, very hard to do Italian shoe. That's not taking away anything from the Italian shoe. It's a beautiful shoe. It's just adding to this false notion of Mexico or anything south of the U.S. being lacking. I don't accept that. And there's a great comparison between those two shoes. Both of these are very expensive shoes. One out of Mexico, one out of Italy. But I have no problem with these two standing side by side, because you can see clearly the detail here and the exotic stingray material, leather, sole, beautiful supple soft leather. Might even have to say this one is the softer of the two leathers, mainly because this leather hardly even holds up. But honestly, if there was this much leather over on top of that shoe, it probably would collapse as well, because look, you can see it's hardly holding up now, and it's nowhere near that much leather. So I'd probably have to say it's a tie on the softness and the suppleness of the leather quality. I'd probably have to go with the Italian because of the texture. You can really get a lot of texture out of this. I mean, you can see and feel a lot of texture. You really recognize that this is a beautifully maintained cowhide, whereas this one is a lot less texture. Still feels pretty doggone good though, but I feel like there's just a little bit less texture in this one. Not less quality, just a little less texture. But yeah, I love these side-by-side comparisons, especially for this, which I was told is a really good way to see quality, which is what they did here with this Mexican boot. This one hides all stitching, so you don't have, I don't have a clue what type of welt that is, or if, I do like the fact that there's not much distance between the bottom of this shoe, the sole, and the actual where the leather meets the sole on the back of the heel. I like that's almost a straight line. It's pretty hard to pull that off because a lot of my shoes do not pull that off. This one does a decent job, but you can still see plenty of distance with respect to comparing the two. Not with respect to other shoes, but with respect to these two, you can see how this buttons in and goes in. Here's another shoe to compare that with. Allen Edmond doesn't even pretend to have, you know, some kind of a union, hidden union there between the two. Still a great shoe. But you go to, let's say, go back to this one, the Meslin, and the butt between where those leather meets leather is nearly invisible. So just different styles and ways to do it. Not taking away one from the other, though I've heard people try to say this makes one stylish, this makes one expensive, this one makes one quality, it makes the other not. Often when you hear this stuff on these sites, it's just not true. And it's just a limited view and a limited experience with fashion is what causes people to make so many rules of what you can and cannot do. And I imagine there's a huge market for people who want to know or be ruled, So I think that helps a lot too. You gotta want someone to rule you for there to be such a huge market on rules of fashion. In my world of fashion, there are absolutely no rules. Whatever makes you feel better than when you put it on, you're good to go on that. But I think that has a lot to do with having a lot of, what do they say? I'm not a very fragile person when it comes to other people's opinions. So I know there's a better way of saying that, but it almost hurts my feelings to see people being boxed in and people, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I'm really anti those boxes. I can't imagine why you would want to hear someone tell you what you can't do with respect to fashion. And that makes no sense to my brain. You can't wear this with that. You can't do that. If it matches and you think it matches and you feel great about what you put together, rock the hell out of that. Don't let anybody tell you this is unacceptable behavior. Do you, is what my motto has been in life. So, high fashion boot. What will I wear with this high fashion boot? Whatever the heck I want. That's the rules on this high fashion boot. What should you wear with it? What should you wear with a slipper? Whatever the heck you want to wear. Blue jeans, black jeans, dress slacks. This shoe can pull off any look you want to throw at it. So that's my take on the rules of fashion. And I enjoy watching various people's YouTube about fashion, but I'm blown away by all of the rules and restrictions and bars and locks they're putting on people's brains to what they can and cannot do with the money they spent on the shoe they bought or the tie they bought or the shirt, it's I imagine when I pass them on the street, their head explodes and they get an aneurysm because I have no rules to my fashion. It's just whatever makes you feel great. As you can probably tell by now with this shoe collection, that's probably why each shoe is so drastically different than the shoe before it. So you just say, okay, this is made in Romania. This is made in Italy. And we've got Mexico. This is a Mexican Wolverine boot. And this one I think is Michigan. I mean, all of my styles are extremely different because I don't have a rule book telling me what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So I would advise everyone to throw out rule books. Throw out the locks on your brains. Enjoy fashion for what it was meant to be. Just fun. Doesn't matter if you're going to a coffee shop or going to a cigar lounge. Just have fun. Matter of fact, I plan on wearing this shoe today with a pair of black leather-like pants and a purple shirt. So I imagine that's probably breaking all the rules, but I don't care. Hope you enjoyed the show. Talk to you later.